Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Okay, welcome to another session of Monday night meditation from Newbury Buddhist Monastery. And I've been reminded to inform everyone that if you're hearing some pattering in the background, it's because it's raining here. So you may be able to hear the rain pattering on our roof here. Okay, so as usual, let us sit quietly for 5 minutes to calm our body, calm our mind. 5 minutes, and Ayya Santa will ring the bell when it's 5 minutes. Thank you. I hope we're all feeling peaceful, settled, and ready for another session. I hope we can sit more tonight together. What I like to start with is just to answer two questions which are frequently asked, and one of them, the first one is actually what kind of meditation is suitable for the various temperaments of different personalities. So I have a few here as taught by our teachers. So for instance, a person who is actually very attached to one's body, very self-cherishing and all that about one's body. So and also if we have a lot of desires for this and that, especially for relationships and all that. So one of the teachings is to contemplate on the impurities of the body, or even the 9 stages of decay of a corpse. So if you want to find out more about the impurities of the body, I know that in the Girimananda Sutta, they have listed all the parts there in the Girimananda Sutta. And also in there, not only is listed the impurities for the body, there's also a contemplation on the danger of having this body. The body which has a lot of afflictions, a lot of pain and suffering due to illnesses, different illnesses, or when we are not treating the body well. Okay, so all these things are found in the Girimananda Sutta. And for a person who is very prone to anger, alright, so of course I think this everybody knows, metta meditation is the best. Yeah, so not only metta meditation, I think in practicality one has really to learn how to forgive, and also to be compassionate to oneself as well as to others. This is something that is not easy, especially when one is really very deeply hurt by, of course, we always blame the other person for hurting us, but according to the Buddha's teaching, it's always we ourselves who allows ourselves to be hurt due to the attachment of a self, and also due to the big ego there. So these are things that is not really easy for any Buddhist to really overcome, unless we really put in a lot of right effort, and also to be very humble and ready to put the Buddha's teachings into practice. And we have to give ourselves time, and also to be able to forgive is actually to be able to let us heal our hearts of past pain and hurt. So all these things are things that we can actually help to prepare ourselves for meditation with the right topic to overcome anger. And of course, as I say, it is very important that we practice it every day in our life. So the first thing is to learn how to forgive. Without forgiveness, we will always be trapped in our anger and our hatred, and it is really very, very difficult to move forward in one's cultivation or purification, or even what we call mental cultivation. It would be very hard if one is trapped in anger and hatred. Okay, so for a person who is arrogant, now a lot of times when one is arrogant, we may not identify it. We may not be aware that we are arrogant, but sometimes there may be instances of a little moments when we may realize that, oops, that sounded rather egoistic or something like that. So if we find that there's a tendency to react in a very arrogant way, or when we receive feedback from others that what we're doing or what we're saying actually is not very pleasant and is undermining or belittling others, then it is really time for us to really take stock of our attitudes. And for countering arrogance, what our teachers have taught us is to contemplate on the different realms of beings. Okay, now we are in the human realm, a realm where we have what we call dark and bright karma, and also a realm where we can actually train ourselves towards enlightenment. But we have to understand that if we don't behave and conduct ourselves properly, then it is very likely then that we may be reborn into the lower realms, okay, of suffering. So this is one way of contemplating to overcome arrogance. We don't want to fall into the lower realms. We don't want to fall into the animal realms. Although I think some people say that, oh, it's so lovely to be a dog or a cat in Australia because they get all the extra special love from the masters and mistresses. They are well taken care of. Their lives are much better than human beings of other countries and all that. But really, if you look at them, I mean, we do have a little beautiful dog that comes to our monastery every day. You know, it will be waiting there looking at you pitifully for you to say hello, to say good morning, or to even give him a piece of something to eat and all that. So I don't think I want to be born as an animal. There's really a very restricted kind of movements, and you really need to depend on others, human beings especially, to really take care of us. And also, well, sometimes animals do have the opportunity to do good, but a lot of times animals do not have that opportunity to do really good deeds. So it's very hard to really generate good karma. So I do know that yes, animals do have lovely lives if they are treated as family pets and all, but in the end, I think to have a human birth is very important. Of course, we are not going to touch on Deva realms and all that. That is, of course, another realm that most people would look forward to being born in, the Deva realm. But as a human, I think that's good enough for us to be able to practice well. Okay, so for one with arrogance, okay, please do contemplate on the different realms of beings, because if we don't have what we call the wholesome deeds and all that, we probably may fall into the unhappy, woeful states. Okay, so that is not upkeeping at least the 5 precepts, okay, besides being egoistic and hurtful and all. Okay, for one who is having a lot of fear, a lot of times fearing of this, fearing of that, okay, a lot of times I do find that people do speculate into the future, and then they worry themselves and believe that negative things will happen because of certain kind of speculations that go in their mind. So then that fear factor will come in, and not only will this fear factor affect the person who is experiencing it, it may also have an impact on those people around them. So what happens if we do have all this kind of fear? I mean, if it's due to speculation of things that will happen into the future, we do not know exactly what will happen. And as our teachers have mentioned many times, we really have no idea what we plan for, what we aim to hope for, whether they will turn out the way we want it or not. Most of the time it doesn't happen the way we want it. Sometimes we may be lucky, it happens the way we expect it to happen, but a lot of times things happen differently. Now what about fear? Fear in situations when we are, for instance, many people say they are afraid to be alone, they are afraid to be caught in the dark, they are afraid of situations where they have no control over and all that. Now these are also very complicated situations, but at certain times when you really find that you have a lot of fear of things that is beyond your control, what our teacher does teach us is, if you're a Buddhist, of course, this is, if you are a Buddhist, then of course you can recollect the qualities of the Buddha or the Dhamma and the Sangha, especially the Buddha. You can actually visualize the image of the Buddha. Yeah, so having this kind of visualization can actually calm us down and hopefully to overcome the fear. But if you have another religion, perhaps visualizing the teacher of your religion may also be helpful to you. Okay, like if you're a Christian, perhaps Jesus Christ, or if you're a Catholic, Jesus Christ, what do you call it, Mother Mary or whoever. Yeah. So all this, even sometimes, visualizing an angel coming to help us and all that. All these things do help us, but of course we don't want to indulge too much into that. All right. Now, the important thing is to really know how to overcome the fear factor. And there are suttas in the suttas where the Buddha did say that for one to be able to overcome the fear factor, we really have to face the fear factor itself and then see what is happening and look for ways to overcome it. All right. So the other thing is about ignorance. Okay. Ignorance is another factor that is very hard for oneself to be aware of. Is due to ignorance that we do a lot of things that is not wholesome, and if we are very arrogant at the same time ignorant, then of course we'll create a lot of unnecessary happiness and suffering for ourselves and for others. So again, when it comes to ignorance, we have to be very humble. There will be feedback from other people around us or from our real friends who are brave enough to tell us about our action of body and speech which are not really skillful or wholesome. If we are humble enough, we probably will be able to acknowledge that we are indeed ignorant, and maybe the other word to use is deluded, and to find ways to overcome it. So what has been taught to overcome being ignorant is to contemplate on the 12 links of dependent origination, the cause and effect thing, right? So these are the things that I will briefly touch on tonight, and if you want to go further into that, you can actually look up for the suttas. Just go to Access to Insights or Sutta Central to find out the suttas. It will be there. Just type in the theme that you want to look for, especially for Access to Insight. Just type in the theme that you like to look for, and you'll probably get the relevant suttas, the numbers there for you to refer. Okay, now the other question that people do ask is about contemplation on emptiness, or to meditate based on emptiness and all that. Now, as I have mentioned earlier in my earlier talks, I'm not an authority to talk on emptiness, but theoretically we do have teachers who give us some teachings about the meaning of emptiness. Now, I think the best explanation of emptiness and the different categories of emptiness that I have come across is actually one that was given by Bhikkhu Bodhi, and it is actually mentioned in one of his talks. So he actually mentioned the word sunyata, emptiness. Okay, when we talk about sunyata, most of us refer to them more in the Mahayana teachings. Theravada teachings, probably we don't hear a lot of them, but recently when we did the Majjhima Nikaya, there were 2 suttas that touch on the topic sunyata, which is emptiness. So the topics are here it is. Okay, the 2 suttas that talk on sunyata from the Majjhima Nikaya, middle length saying, is the Chula Sunyata Sutta, Sutta number 121, I believe, and Maha Sunyata Sutta, Sutta number 122. And the other sutta found in the Pali Canon that touches on the concept of emptiness is actually the Kamabu Sutta, which can be found in the Samyutta Nikaya. Okay, and that is explained into more in depth about the cessation of perception and feelings. So when it comes to the term sunyata in the Mahayana, of course, the sunyata concept is actually explained very deeply and profoundly in the Heart Sutta, right? And as I say, we won't go into that in detail, because you really take someone who has a lot of practical experiences to understand the direct meaning of what sunyata is all about. But in the Pali Sutta, we do have emptiness described as empty of a self. All right, like for instance, anatta is emptiness of the notion of a self. Anatta can be found to be explained by the Lord Buddha in the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, where the self is actually not a self entity that just arises without any conditions to it. So the teaching of Anatta Lakkhana Sutta is touching on emptiness of a self. Right, and of course, they are also mentioned in the Pali Canon about emptiness of phenomena. So I think in some chants we chant about Sabbe Sankhara Dukkati or Sabbe Sankhara Anicchati, and then there's Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. So there are certain explanations that touch on emptiness. So emptiness is explained on different levels of understanding. All right, so tonight I will just briefly touch on the explanation given by Bhikkhu Bodhi about his understanding of sunyata, the word sunyata. Okay, so Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi explained the word sunyata in 4 ways. The first way is described as a psychological sense of the mind being empty of greed, hatred, and delusion. Right, so that can be found in the Majjhima Nikaya Sutta number 43. Okay, so that is the Mahavedala Sutta. Okay, that is psychological sense, mind empty of greed, hatred, and delusion. That's the first level of emptiness that is being explained in the teachings of Lord Buddha. And the second meaning that Bhikkhu Bodhi explained in terms of sunyata is the what we call ontological meaning, which is actually the philosophical concern of the nature of existence. Okay, the nature of all beings. So this is called the emptiness of a self, or emptiness of anything belonging to a self, anything that is supposed to have a substantial nature, but in fact they are all due to causes and effects. So again, you can find that explained in the Sutta number 43, the Mahavedala Sutta. And there's another sutta in the Sanyutta Nikaya where the Sunya Sutta is being expounded by Lord Buddha. Okay, where Ananda was actually asking the Lord Buddha about what is empty. The world is empty. In what respect is it referred to as the world is empty? Okay, so of course the Buddha speaks about the world is empty of a self or anything pertaining to a self. That means, the 6 sense bases and all that. So they are all causes and conditions, which is actually empty of a self entity. It's all due to causes and conditions. The third explanation Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi gave is phenomenal aspect of emptiness. Okay, the philosophical concern with way things appear within an experience. All right, so these are things that may be achieved in the meditative state on how to direct the attention to very refined ways. Okay, by bringing the mind to what is empty in a particular experience. Now again, all these things have to deal with our direct experiences. This is just a theoretical explanation, and as I say, we have to go into the deep meditation to be aware of how all these explanations can be experienced by us before we can understand what is being explained by these teachers. So meditation is very important. And of course, the fourth one is the Sunyata Samadhi. Okay, Sunyata Samadhi is something that is very deep and profound, very high stage of Samadhi. And according to Bhikkhu Bodhi's teaching, there's this explanation where one really goes through the meditative state where you actually I think from what I understand, this is not written here, from what I understand, when one reaches the state of non-perception and no feelings. So this is what they call totally empty of any signs or cravings or desires or directions. Yeah. So in short, they actually have three characteristics to that state of emptiness there. So they call it actually as a signless state, or a state where there's no desire or wishes, right? And there's a total void of greed, hatred, and delusion, or self or ego. So all these things are explained in the Pali Canon, and it is only through meditative states that one can really understand what is being expounded by Lord Buddha. So this is just my attempt to answer the two questions that are often asked. If you really wish to go into a deeper understanding of what sunyata is or emptiness is, I would suggest that we first go into the first stage of experiencing what is non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion. Now that is deep enough for us to go and experience. For us to totally eradicate no greed, to totally eradicate greed, hatred, delusion. Okay, so this is the first explanation from Bhikkhu Bodhi about the word sunyata, a psychological sense of the mind being empty of greed, hatred, and delusion. Now, how can we do that? I believe that once we go into the jhanas, I strongly believe that even in the form jhanas, while we're experiencing jhanas itself, there will not be greed, hatred, or delusion, because at that time, there will just be a feeling of bliss. Alright, so I believe that in those early jhanic stages, we can actually experience the first explanation given by Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi about this psychological sense of the mind being empty of greed, hatred, and delusion. And maybe this is what we should try to do for tonight by going into a longer period of meditation, and hopefully to experience the mind coming to a stage where it is just blissful and there's no greed, hatred, or delusion in there, where the five hindrances is totally either, I would say, maybe suppressed if we have not uprooted all our defilements or fetters. That five hindrances of what called greed, ill will, restlessness and worry, sloth and torpor and doubts, these five can be suppressed when we go into the jhanic stage of the mind being empty of greed, hatred, and delusion. Okay, so that is a stage where you can hear the teachers often describe as a stage where you go into that mental state with no hearing, no sense of the body, no thoughts occurring. So tonight, let's do more of meditation. It's almost 8 o'clock now. Hopefully we can do half an hour of meditation, and we are able within this half an hour to really become still. Well, I'm not asking anyone to hope for jhanic stages or anything, because asking you to go into that is actually giving you a big hindrance into your meditation. So let's just focus on our regular technique of meditation. Just use whatever technique you are most skillful in, and something that works for you. Even if something has not worked for you, I think the breath meditation, actually I think I forgot to mention that for anyone with a mind that is very restless and scattered, the breath meditation is still one of the best meditation topic to counter a scattered mind. Okay, so the four postures, and also getting into the mindfulness of the satipatthana. Yeah, so it's also very important. So whether you have had already experienced some good results of your technique that you feel you are comfortable with, whether you have that or not, it does not matter at all, because every sit that we have has to start from no expectation, totally no expectation. So that is actually quite difficult, because if we do have some kind of experiences in our past seats, it's very likely that we may wish to go into that situation, that kind of mindful mental state again, but that is going to be a very big hindrance to us. So it is very, very important that every seat that we have begins with no expectation of anything, but just to be training our mind to be mindful with clear awareness of what is arising and ceasing. Okay, so let us take our sitting position properly. I hope that everyone is seated comfortably, and also to have a good posture. The Buddha always speaks about having a straight, erect back, and to have a focus in front of you. Of course, the focus can be anywhere, because the mind is not just in front or anywhere. But what I have realized through my experience is when we have a straight back and not sitting slouch, you can actually feel the breath easier on your nostril, around your nostril, if your back is straight. Okay, so let's take a good position and try to go through the basic preliminaries of sitting in a good position, being relaxed, having a very relaxed posture, and then having your eyes closed so that you have one less sense space to tend to, and whatever you're hearing or having inner chats and all that, all this inner chattering and all that, we know that it's just to be aware and then to really let go and fix your focus on the breath. And if you are having difficulty in focusing the breath coming out from your nostrils, then of course, as a skillful means, there's always this chant of Buddha, breathing in Bud, breathing out Do. There's another skillful way of focusing on the rising and falling of your abdomen, where the in-breath is rising and the out-breath is actually the falling of the abdomen. Now, I don't really encourage you to focus on the chest area, because that way your breathing is very short and shallow. It's better to focus on the abdomen. Okay, so if we are ready, then we go into a half an hour sit. And if there's any questions, we can deal with that later. Okay, all the best to us. May we all go into stillness, okay, but with no desire. We just hope that it can happen by letting things unfold naturally, okay, with an effort on our part to be aware of what is rising and falling, and then pulling back the focus onto our breath again. Okay, according to the method that is working for you, or at least according to the method that you feel comfortable with. Okay, so here we go now. Quiet meditation until 8:30. Okay, before you stand up, just give yourself a good rub to let the energy circulate well. Especially if you have any bodily injuries or any aches and pains there, use the energy from your sit to rub over those areas. Yep, it helps. This is what is keeping my almost 70-year-old body going, keeping Auntie's 83-year-old body going. So it does help. The energy from our meditation. Don't waste it. As I may have mentioned before, our teacher used to tell us, you don't have to go for facials. Just use the energy from your meditation to rub on your face. You don't have pimples, you don't have wrinkles. You have nice complexion. Okay, if you're ready, is there any questions? No?
Yes.
Oh, yes?
We do. First of all, we do have our audience saying that after watching news of floods in Australia, I don't know whether it's a he or she. I'm worried about the venerables. How are you all? Please take good care of yourself.
Thank you so very much. We are on 800 over meters above sea level. If Newbury goes underwater, I think it is a very hopeless case for Australia. Really, thank you so very much. That's so kind of you to be so concerned. I think what is happening now is really in New South Wales, I believe, where the dams and all that are giving way. Yeah, and I don't know what can be done. Hopefully something can be done to divert the flood waters, and of course, I mean, as people who are religious, we are not able to go out there to do what is possible. We really depend a lot on our prayers. We just hope that everyone will be safe. I mean, sometimes you just can't fight nature, but we hope that at least as our fellow brothers and sisters are out there facing all this, of course there will be definitely this fear and worry of the floods and all that causing what you call deaths and all that. We just hope that it wouldn't happen. I heard from the news that this has not happened yet, and we hope that people will be moved to higher grounds and safer grounds, and hopefully the rain will stop. And I really do not know what can be done, really, but we are very safe here. Thank you so very much. We are really very safe here. Is there any other question?
So are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
Only one question, and that's from Luke.
Oh, my dear Luke, hello. When are you coming?
How far should one go with body contemplation? Some monastics promote asubha meditation, but then other monastics advise against it. What are your thoughts?
Okay, personally speaking, I mean, even as a layperson, when we were first learning the different kinds of methods for meditation, we were taught asubha meditation. Now, it depends on the comfort level of each person. Now, we do have some students who actually gets a lot of fear of it. They really wouldn't dare go further other than the first few minutes of contemplation, because it really scares them to think of things that is really so unpleasant about their whole body. So I would encourage that unless you're a person who is really so lustful and really, I don't know how to describe it. When you look at the opposite gender, you really feel that you must possess the opposite gender or whatever. I do not know what's happening in the minds of people, but if you really feel that you have this kind of desires to have a physical relationship and all those things, I feel that having this asubha meditation will help us, but it has to be something that you really can understand, that as the teachers always teach us, every one of us, okay, below the head of the hair, below the head of I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing. Below the hair of the head, below the hair of the body, and then it comes to your teeth and your nails and your skin. Okay, all these 5 external factors, right? They are the things that really make us look different from one another, and they either make us look beautiful or ugly, right? So just remember that all these things, the hair, the nails, and the teeth, and all those things, they are actually held together, right, by the layer of the skin, right? So if we just remove the skin from every one of us, we all look the same. We all just masses of blood and muscles and flesh and sinews and all those kind of things, right? So I remember there's this story about this prostitute, I think, what you call courtesan, who is so beautiful that people will pay high prices just to have a night with her. But then, unfortunately, due to some kind of coma, she passed away very young. So it was mentioned that there was this recommendation that, get someone, anyone who is interested to come and spend a night with this beautiful dead body. Nobody wants it. They are just so scared. Yeah. So it's always this what you call a person with the external features that attracts, then one feels this lustfulness arising. So if we really look at the Asubha practices, it's really to help us understand the true nature of each of us. We are all the same under the skin, under the different kind of appearances that is actually attracting I would say entanglements for ourselves. Okay, right? We always feel that having all these kind of relationships and even for physical context and all that really is very pleasing. Of course, the pleasure comes from the feelings that it gives to us, right? It's not from that external form or anything. It's the feeling that the external form is giving us in our mind as an experience, and we actually are falling in love with our feelings, not with the external form or what we call the other person or whatever. So I would say do it if you feel comfortable, but it's not really necessary. I believe that if you really are just looking for peace of mind and to calm your mind, I think the best method is either to start with metta meditation, or sometimes you may want to have a body sweeping experience first before you go into the breath meditation. Because if we are able to focus on the breath meditation, it really gives us that peace and bliss there. Yeah. So I would say, please, if you feel that you wish to do it, you can, but it's not necessary. It's not a very pleasant experience to really look at the various parts of your body unless you're ready to really look deep into the true nature of what is underneath the skin of ourselves. All right. Even I was actually talking about the 9 stages of decay of a body. I mean, as a student, we went through all this kind of meditation. And again, I mean, it doesn't really mean that everybody does not want to go through it, but there are maybe a handful of meditators who feel nauseatic, right? Just visualizing the various stages of decay of a corpse. Yeah. So all these things are up to the individual's comfort level. If you're not ready to do it, please don't do it. Likewise, it's just that teachers may encourage you to go for cemetery meditation. If you're not ready, please don't go there unless you're able to overcome the fear of all this kind of what I call preconditioned mind that in the dark this thing will happen, that thing will happen, and then you probably live in more fear, and then it's going to cause a lot of suffering for you instead of going into a peaceful state of mind. So I hope it answers your question. Do it when you feel comfortable, but it's not necessary. If you're looking for peace of mind, I would suggest metta meditation or other forms of Brahma Viharis meditation, compassion, loving kindness, mudita or equanimity. Yep, and then going to the breath meditation. That is enough.
I do have one question on behalf of my friend in France. She is going to have a tumor operation on this Wednesday. Any tips for her to calm her mind?
Do you have a? Does she have a? Is a she or he? Does he or she have a religion?
She is not a Buddhist, but she has been actually tuning into the guided meditation.
Oh, okay. Now, first and foremost, if you are not a religious person, then I would just encourage you to. I mean, since you have been listening to the guided meditation, I believe that you would probably have been listening to the teachings of the Buddha about the body being not a self. Okay, and this body is actually, as I was mentioning in the Girimananda Sutta, the body is a source of danger, a source of all kinds of illnesses and all that. So it's what we call a norm if our body fails to cooperate with us and fails to support us and starts to get sick. So first and foremost, if you have a religion, that will say that yes, please focus on your belief of your God, or if you're a Buddhist, then of course contemplate on the confidence of the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and also your own virtues to support you. And most important thing is to have confidence in your doctor and the group of surgeons who are going to operate on you. I think it's very important to have the confidence in your medical team. And at the same time too, have to accept the fact that our lifespans, there's nothing we can do to control it. We do not know when we have to go, because it is a fact that with birth comes death. It's just a matter of when. Now I hope I'm not frightening you. Okay, right, but it's just hoping that we can be very, very realistic, that anything can happen to this body, anything can happen to our life. So we hope that you have the positive state of mind that the doctors that is attending to you, I mean, of course it depends on what they have told you so far. If they feel that, well, it's a pretty high chance that you will be able to pull through easily and it's a very simple surgery, then of course I think you will probably have a lot of confidence in that. But if the doctor gives you some other kind of advices, then of course it depends on how ready you are willing to face what you have to go through. So it's all very individual, your acceptance of what is happening, and maybe you may even tell yourself, okay, Sarah, whatever will be. And then that makes things much easier. So as we have always been taught, so what if we worry? So what if we have fear? We can't change anything. We really can't change anything. It just makes us more anxious and more frightened, that's all. So I hope that I'm not trying to dampen your spirits, but rather to encourage you to have confidence in your medical team, and also be accepting of whatever is happening. Of course, the doctors will definitely do their best to ensure that you have a smooth and successful surgery. And I'm quite sure that if you have friends around you, there will be lots of prayers, which is actually very positive energy for you. And then if you have that confidence in whatever you're doing in life, that you have done a lot of good deeds, and whatever you have not been doing a lot of unwholesome activities and all these good qualities of your heart, good actions of your body and speech and mind, probably they will help you to overcome a lot of things, and hopefully this surgery too. I hope it helps. Have confidence in the medical team, and just prepare for whatever will unfold. But here, right now, we want to wish you all the best. Okay, we hope that whatever positive energy that is now here experienced by you who is listening in, and by the 5 of us in this room, and whoever is listening in, I'm quite sure that they will now join me in wishing you all the best in your surgery. And please do not worry so much. Be positive so that you give yourself a better chance of success, and also to heal more speedily. All the best to you. If you are able to get your name onto our daily dedication of merits, we will start to include that tomorrow in our Sangha chants for lunchtime. If you're happy to give us the name, we will do that for you. Okay, all the best. Don't worry so much. Whatever will be, will be. The doctors will definitely do their best. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Ayya. That's all we have.
Okay, so with that, we like to conclude with the usual chant to the merit dedication for all beings, devas, Buddhas, and sattas, and including ourselves too. So dedication of merits, if you know the regular one that I chant, if you are able to chant together, then you chant together. Otherwise, yeah, we'll just follow through the energy of this chant. Okay, this is all good words to share whatever we've been doing this past hour or so. Okay, all good deeds carries with it good energy, and we like to dedicate this energy to everyone, especially those who need them, and of course not forgetting ourselves too. Okay, so let's chant together. Akasatta chabummatta devanaga mahittika punyang tang anumoditva charang ratkantu lokasasanang. Akasatta chabummatta devanaga mahittika punyang tang anumoditva charang ratkantu desanang. Akasatta chabummatta devanaga mahittika punyang tang anumoditva charang ratkantu mang parangti. Etavata jam hehi sapatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Etavata jam hehi sapatang punya sampadang sabbe Bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Etavata jam hehi sappatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me nyatinang hotu sukhita humtu nyatayo. Idam me nyatinang hotu sukhita humtu nyatayo. Idam me nyatinang hotu sukhita humtu nyatayo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So as the Metta Sutta has always been reminding me, whatever good we have done, may we dedicate our merits to all beings, which we have done just now, to all the devas, which is heavenly beings, to all the Buddhas, or spiritual beings, and all the sattas, all sentient beings. And the Idam Me Nyatinang Hotu is actually for our beloved departed loved ones too. And we also would like to include, again, not forgetting ourselves, we also wish to dedicate merits to all our family members and friends, and all, whether they are Dhamma families or our biological families, wherever they are. We wish them to be well and happy and peaceful too, and also to stay healthy. And to all other beings, okay, who have no family members or family friends to perform merits on their behalf, we also like to invite you to partake in this merit making, and we like you to also be recipient to all the what I call the merit secretariat from what we have done today and from the past hour. May all beings, whether known or unknown, seen or unseen, near or far away, born or to be born, may all beings be well and happy. May all beings be peaceful. So with that, we conclude tonight's session. May you have a good night, and may you stay well, happy, peaceful, safe, and healthy. Good night.